Well, last night against Detroit, the Minnesota Timberwolves lost more than a game. They lost Zach LaVine, their talented young player, who is out for the remainder of the season with a torn left ACL. LaVine was averaging around 19 points a game, over 3 assists, over 3 rebounds, and having a career year. But unfortunately, he is gone now for the season. Tom Thibodeau discussing the loss of his key player.
Terrible news. It's obviously you feel for Zach. First and foremost, just who he is as a person, and obviously what he means to our team and the type of teammate that he is. It's really disappointing, but he'll respond and he'll come back better than ever. But he put so much work into the season to have the type of season that he had going, so that's really what you feel for.
Well, LaVine's teammate Karl Anthony Towns tweeting, "This would be lying if I said I didn't cry when I got the news, wishing a speedy recovery to not just my teammate but my brother at Zach LaVine." So this is tough news for the Minnesota Timberwolves, this young up-and-coming team. They are hosting the Memphis Grizzlies this evening. And here to discuss the injury and the reaction for the team is John Brzezinski of the Associated Press, who is at Target Center. John, thanks for being with us. I know you've been around the players today. It must be awfully tough news for them to try to digest.
Yeah, it is. We were just in the locker room just a few minutes ago, and it's pretty sullen in there. It's like the air has been let out of the building a little bit. Zach LaVine is an incredibly popular player in that locker room. As Sam knows, it's a tight-knit unit. I mean, he and Andrew Wiggins and Zach LaVine and Karl Anthony Towns are very tight and really good friends. And so Karl spoke to us for a few minutes, basically just saying what he said in his tweet about how kind of heartbroken he is for Zach. And Brandon Rush kind of talked about the knee injuries that he's dealt with and how the long road that Zach has to get back. They're all wishing him the best, but they're all certainly feeling for him right now.
John, Sam here, man. How you doing?
Hey, Sam, how's it going?
Hey, man, when you look at this team and they're young and all these young guys are experiencing a lot of firsts. All these guys were averaging about 20 points a game. They're finally starting to play like we all thought they could, and now Zach go down with this injury. How do you think is this going to affect Karl and Andrew Wiggins, who is part of that three-headed monster that the guys were creating in Minnesota with Karl, Andrew, and Zach?
Yeah, it's a good question, Sam. We'll have to just see how they kind of respond to the adversity that's coming here, because as you know, these guys are really durable. They haven't had the big injuries, before this one that a lot of guys go through. I mean, Andrew has played in almost every game. Karl has played in almost every game. Zach had been playing in almost every game in his career. So this is going to be the first time that we had one of them away for any stretch of time, really. And so it will be interesting to see how they play off of each other, how they kind of respond, and if Zach and Andrew, or if Karl and Andrew try to take more of the shots on themselves, or if they try to distribute it around to the rest of their teammates a little bit more. Tom Thibodeau said he's going to start Brandon Rush, a veteran, at least at the start of this absence, and hope that he can bring in some kind of a calming influence on the group. But there's no question that they're shaking a little bit right now, and so it's really going to be interesting to see how that weighs on them, if it does at all, once the games start here.
John, thank you so much for the information. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances, because Zach LaVine is such an exciting young player to watch. He's one of those ooh and ah guys that is on that Minnesota Timberwolves roster. So we wish him and the team the best as they entertain Memphis and take that first step. Thanks, John. Appreciate
Thanks, John.
Thanks, guys.